You have the right to a home in good condition. Thousands of New Yorkers live in housing with conditions that make it hard to be safe and comfortable in their home. But it's your right as a tenant to live in a safe home in good repair. This video will explain how to use the law to help fix those bad housing conditions. It can seem like your landlord has all of the power, but in New York, tenants actually have a lot of rights. But rights only turn into power if you understand them and learn how to use them. You can do this even if you don't have a lawyer. Even if you have to take your landlord to court, you can do it on your own, what the courts refer to as pro se. We will mention some technical legal terms. These will be highlighted in red, like this. When you rent an apartment from someone in New York, your landlord has an obligation to keep your home safe and in good condition. This is sometimes called the warranty of habitability. For example, landlords are usually required to repair things like leaky plumbing, holes in walls or ceilings, mold, broken locks, no heat or hot water, no gas, and broken equipment. If your house is unsafe or unhealthy because of a condition like this, your landlord has to fix it. It's the law. Here are the steps. First, call 311 to report the problems to city officials. Second, put together evidence of the problems with your home. Third, you can ask your landlord in writing to fix the problem. This isn't required, but can save you time if it gets the landlord to make the repairs. If other tenants have the same problems, you can write a joint letter to your landlord. And if that doesn't work, take your landlord to court. Step 1. Call 311 to report the bad conditions to city officials. City agencies have the power to make inspections, report violations, and fine the landlord for not making certain repairs. They will give you a complaint number. Be sure to write that down. Report all the bad conditions. You can use this report as evidence if you have to take your landlord to court. The New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development, HPD, and other agencies enforce laws on things like heat and hot water, mold, falling ceilings, bad plumbing, elevators, and electricity. Once you've made the complaint, the agency will schedule an inspection at your home. The inspector will look at all of the conditions that you mentioned in your complaint. You can use the inspector's report as evidence in court. Step 2. Evidence. You need to collect proof of the conditions in your home. The best way to do this is to take lots of photos. Make sure that you photograph all of the damage and that there is plenty of light. Record the date that you took the photos. If you don't have heat or hot water, keep a daily log of when you don't have them. Step 3. Write your landlord. Send a letter to your landlord asking for repairs. List all of the repairs needed and a reasonable deadline for the landlord to respond to you. This isn't required, so skip this if the problems are urgent or the landlord already knows about them. Send the letter certified mail, or even better, send it with your rent check so you have proof the landlord received it. This is called putting the landlord on notice. Be sure to keep a copy. Step 4. Sue in court. If all else fails, you can sue your landlord in housing court to force them to make the repairs or provide essential services. This is a special kind of case called a housing part case, or an HP case. To start an HP case, you can head over to housing court and fill out a set of forms, or you can fill them out online on LawHelpNY York's website. You will need the name and the address of the landlord. Make sure you are using the landlord's correct name. Remember that the landlord is probably a company. It's not necessarily a person. To learn the legal name of your landlord, go to HPD's website. At court, you will fill out an inspection request. Be sure to be specific and list everything that is wrong with the apartment and any public areas of the building. The court will schedule an inspection and will set a date for you to return to court. You then need to give the papers to the landlord and HPD. This is called serving the landlord and HPD. The easiest way is to mail them certified return receipt, but you can also hand deliver them. While waiting for your inspection and court date, you should gather some key documents, like photos, print them, don't just bring your phone to court, letters to and from the landlord, and previous inspection reports. You will also need to bring to court proof that you live at that address, like your lease or driver's license with that address, or utility bills with your name and address. A few things can happen on your court date. You may be able to resolve your case in a meeting with the HPD lawyer and the landlord before you see the judge. The landlord may agree to make the repairs. They will either sign a document called a consent order or an agreement with you called a stipulation. Do not sign anything that you don't agree with. You can keep pushing for the repairs. If the landlord refuses to arrange to make the repairs, you can ask for a trial, which will probably happen at a later date. If the landlord does not show up to court, the judge will look at your evidence and may order the landlord to make repairs. This is called a default judgment. After your case ends, if your landlord does not make the repairs, report that to HPD by calling 311 and go back to the court. You will fill out some legal documents to get another court date. LawHelpNY and Legal Services NYC have developed a website to help you take action to get repairs from your landlord, a resource where you can create the court forms you need, find a sample letter to your landlord requesting repairs, and contact information for city agencies and lawyers, and more.